Proper hand hygiene is important in a clinical setting. To begin with, wet hands thoroughly with water after removing any jewellery. Apply enough soap to cover all hand surfaces. Rub hands thoroughly, making sure to get the easily missed parts such as thumbs, under the fingernails, wrists, and other areas. Rinse hands with water and dry with a single-use hand towel. Use the hand towel to turn off the facet if it is not motion sensitive. Dispose of used paper towel in general waste bin. Out contaminating hands by touching other surfaces, choose a correct size glove and don the glove while touching the outside of the glove as little as possible. To remove glove, start by grabbing the outside of the glove on your non-dominant hand. Then pull the glove off the non-dominant hand and place it in the glove, balling it up. Next, slip 2 fingers under the cuff of the other glove and carefully peel it off the hand without touching the wrist, turning the remaining glove inside out as it is removed and encasing the glove. The gloves can then be disposed of. The following is a demonstration of preparing the treatment area with the necessary equipment. I have thoroughly cleaned my hands prior to setting up and use a sterilizing agent to clean all surfaces using a disposable towel that is then thrown into the bin. All equipment used is new, correctly stored and designed as single-purpose use. When water is used in this setup, it is distilled water and I ensure there is no cross-contamination of the liquid. The machine used is wrapped in a clear sterile slip that is placed over the cord and machine using tape. The machine I am demonstrating with uses disposable needles only. When using these, I make sure they are within the recommended manufacturer's use by date and avoid of any faults or breakages. Disposable paper towel is prepared to use on the patient prior to the treatment. Gloves will then be donned after hands are thoroughly cleaned and the treatment process will begin. Do you have a trick to this double-sided tape, or is it a pain in the ass?
It's a pain in the ass on those cheap thingies. Yeah, that's awesome.
do the sleeve.
So pull it over that cord.
Yeah.
And then clip the cord into the back of the machine. And then pull the sleeve up over the top of the machine.
Yeah.
And when you go to tape, you tape back on.
Yeah, no, that looks really nice. Yeah, no, that's cool. Wow.
Alright, can I have a little mirror as well?
Yeah.
And then I got to get my needles out and check the date, so
Yeah, you just sort of take them and show them to the camera. Identify that they have individual markings. Yeah. And then just put them down there. And then rip up some paper and you put it there and that's it.
do I need to put water and stuff in there or not?
No.
And then just pack down.
We can stop that.
Once the tattoo is finished, the area will be needed to be cleaned. I use gloves to methodically and safely clean, sterilize and dispose of the items used. The needles need to be placed in a yellow sharps bin that has a lid, needle side down. All surface areas including the machine are wiped down with a sterile cleaner. Any items that are reusable are then sterilized accordingly, such as using an autoclave. Any waste used through the treatment is thrown into bin, either general waste or clinical waste, depending on the contamination level.
Saturday got real in a quick beat. That's what they get for the
An autoclave is an essential instrument for any tattoo studio, sterilizing tattoo equipment at the temperature of no less than 246 degrees to kill bloodborne pathogens. The following steps are what I use to sterilize needles and other tattoo equipment before every session. Unfortunately, I don't have an autoclave available to show you at the moment, but I will go through step by step my process. So to prepare the load, I turn the drain valve control knob to the closed position and open the door to fill the reservoir with approximately 1 gallon of hot water or until it rests just below the front lip. I place the tattoo equipment in their sterilizing bag and ensure they are sealed completely. I load the pieces onto a shelf of the autoclave, leaving some space between items. I then close the door and latch the autoclave tight by pressing down on its handles. To start the autoclave, I would find the exhaust switch that normally rests at the top center of the autoclave sterilizer and turn it to the fastest exhaust setting for tattoo needles and other tools that I may use. I follow the manufacturer's instructions when turning the timer knob to ensure the equipment is sterilized completely. This often is about 15 to half an hour cycle. After the timer ends, I wait for the pressure gauge to drop to 0 before opening a door. I keep my hands and face away from the upper part of the machine where the hot steam escapes from the door. I use heat-proof sterile gloves to remove the items, remembering that they are scalding hot when they first come out. I would not agitate containers that have superheated liquids or remove caps from containers before removing. I turn the drain valve to the open position to drain the used water out of the machine. It is important to allow the autoclave materials to cool to room temperature before transporting and moving them to a sterile location. For autoclave maintenance after use, I use a mixture of water and mild detergent to clean the door gasket with a sponge every time after use to ensure that the power cord is disconnected before cleaning. While using this, I'm obviously using PPE and will dispose of any gloves that are used. All sharps should be disposed of correctly in a yellow sharps bin that has rigid walls, is puncture-proof and sealable. Gloves must be used when handling contaminated sharps. Sharps should be placed in the allocated bin sharp end first. Sharps bin should be disposed of accordingly to regulations when they are 3/4 full.